Oh, oh. So meow. So meow. Yeah. Just got off the phone with Mr. Riley. Mr. Riley Senior, the guy that actually built the roofing business, the guy that actually had all the money before his son squandered it. So I asked him. I was like, "What is this? What is the deal with your son?" And he keeps attacking me on YouTube and saying I did this, I did that, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, watch his videos." So he watched his videos and he was like, "Oh my God!" He face palmed. He was like, "Oh, oh, everything I've worked for, this." Well, he's always been a problem, I guess. He's always gone to happy hour. He said the reason the roofing business is failing now, even though he keeps funding it, is because Jimmy, he like he just plies his wife with scratch off tickets and gambling stuff, so he can run around and go to happy hour, and then he hangs out at a Chinese laundromat after hours dancing and asking the Oriental people to call him handsome. And then he spins, he wears his red socks, and then he gets in his truck and he drives around in circles and rages about me. So I was like, well, what's the deal with him and his sister? And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, well, he went over to his sister's house, and the first time he went there, they abused a cat. He's like, no, what are you talking about? I said, no, look, watch this. And he was like, oh God, my son, he's embarrassing the family, he's embarrassing the business. I was like, oh man, I know. I feel your pain because he wears a t-shirt with your phone number printed right there when he's doing it. Going over to his sister's house, abusing animals, and then he stopped over there and he said that he was going to get laid by her and she was a whore, and he showed this whole big bunch of prescription medicine that she takes, and he was like, oh no, God, why does he do that? I was like, yeah, I know, I feel your pain, Mr. Riley. I feel your pain. The whole time he's doing that, and he got really jealous because somebody made me a cat hat. So he wrapped a sock around his face, and he said that he's the male cat and he wants my pussy. And he was like, oh God, he's always been strange like that. I was like, yeah, because, you know, did you know that he actually eats off the same fork as his dog Smokey after Smokey eats dog shit in the snow? And he was like, oh, please don't tell me this. I was like, no, I'm not trying to disrespect you, you know, Mr. Riley Senior. I know that you built a roofing empire and gave it over to your son, and he's squandering the money. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. It's so obvious. He drives around in circles. He picks up homeless men, and some sexual favors are involved. And I was like, watch this one. He's like, no, no, he's just kidding. It's a double reverse gotcha. My son's always done gotchas. And I was like, okay, well, did you see the one where your other son said that he got fucked up the ass by some black man, and he's hunching down the road, and it's like, oh God, my sons. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But then I told him, I was like, you know what? I respect you, and you get your son in line, because he's a horrible example of a person on YouTube. He says it's entertaining, but at the same time he's abusing animals and calling his sister a drugged out whore, and he keeps picking on me relentlessly because I own him every fucking time. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try to have a talk with him. I was like, oh, you should seriously take his keys away, because after he goes to happy hour with his cheap Italian sport coat and his red socks, and his old man ass spinning in circles, then he drives home in the snow, and he's you know, spun out of his mind. And Gina doesn't care because she's just up in the attic with the door locked, desperately hoping that one of those scratch-off tickets, you know, I called her too, and she was like, I can't be bothered, I can't be bothered. One of these scratch-offs is gonna work, and I'm gonna get away from that crazy asshole. Alright? Alright, who is this? Who's calling? So I just hung. I felt sorry. I had to hang up. So scary. So very, very scary. I think we should start a YouTube collection to send this guy to rehab. Because he's off the chain. I mean, call me crazy, but I just sit in here all day. I'm not a harm to anyone out there. But this guy is driving around drunk and spun out of his mind in the snow, you know, and calling his sister a whore and doing pills and crazy stuff, and then, you know, those poor Chinese people or Vietnamese, or I can never tell them apart. Those ornamentals, they're just like, oh, get that guy out of here, fuck him. God, he won't leave. It's like, call me handsome, please. Call me handsome. You're the one that called me pretty boy. Yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling on about this too much, but please give him some help. He eats dog shit. He fucks his sister. He dances with people in the laundromat, and they really don't want him there, and it's very awkward. Could you do that? Yeah. I noticed the cum stains are starting to get back on top of his steering wheel. He did use the Armor All once because I told him to, but you know, it's really embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Okay, that's all I got for now. Yeah. So we'll catch you later. Have a great day.